The old saying is that time flies, and that has certainly been the case with the Tiger pregame show. In the 20 years of the show, we have seen just about everything. Great wins, heartbreaking losses, incredible trips to locations in 13 different states, some of which I never imagined I would see while traveling with the Tigers. So in this 20th season, I thought I would chronicle the year, the travels, and the thoughts to document this anniversary season. I hope you will join me in this journey on the Tiger Pregame Show's 20th season vlog. Good morning, Clemson Nation. It's another game day and a bittersweet day to some degree because this is the last game of the season, and that's always a bittersweet moment. This thing started on Labor Day night in Atlanta, Georgia, and it will conclude tonight in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with the Tigers and the Volunteers here on December the 30th. I am not in Florida, as you may or may not know. I made the decision not to go. Had a lot of family obligations over the Christmas break and could have pulled it off. And now, kind of wish I was down there and did pull it off. But it really was for the best for me to get a lot of things done with family and around the house. And even though that was the right decision, now that it's game day, missing that a little bit. But I know Clemson Nation will be representing very well down in Fort Lauderdale. So the show today is from 2 to 5. I am in the process, just finished actually, smoking some wings on my Orion smoker, which is just outstanding. And got a little homemade recipe for a dry rub and put it to the test again here today. Had to make a bunch of batches of wings, because we are going over after the show and watching the game and tailgating with some friends of ours. So made a ton of wings. We're going to have a lot of appetizers, a lot of food, a lot of fellowship. Looking forward to that. And of course, hoping that we'll have a big Clemson Tiger win as well. So I am now en route to Clemson. Going to get a couple of things done around the lake house. Maybe take a walk on campus and maybe grab a bite to eat around campus, and then head to Easley to join up with William Qualkenbush for the 268th edition of the Tiger pregame show, and the final one of 2022. So stay tuned. We'll let you know how it all goes. Okay, just finished up the chores over at the lake house. Got a little bit done and able to squeeze in a little walk through campus. I'm making my way right past Earl Hall over here behind me now, headed towards the Cooper Library. Enjoy getting over here and getting some walks in from time to time at Clemson. It's even better in a way when the students are still out. They're on break, of course, and winter break still, which is why I'm walking to try and knock off a few of the pounds that I gained over Christmas break. But it's a 60-degree day, and I thought I'd come on campus, and since the students aren't here, it's almost like I have this entire campus to myself for this walk, which is really cool. So gonna get a little walk in, and then we'll get some lunch here, and then it'll be time for the Tiger pregame show. All right, got the walk in. Very nice walk indeed, and now headed through downtown on College Avenue towards Walk-Ons, which is the new restaurant down here in the old Astro Theater, and gonna get a little lunch, and then it'll be time to head towards the new station One of the cool things about Walk-Ons is that it's a downtown restaurant and bar, but it has parking, which is very unique for down here. Typically you have to park in one of the garages or try to find a street parking, or even walk a ways to get parking. But here, a pretty substantial parking lot. It certainly fills up, and it may be full by the time I get in here, but it certainly has plenty of opportunities for you to park, which is unique and very cool. All right, just wrapping up lunch here at Walk-Ons in Clemson. Now about to hop into a car and head over to Easley, where the Roar station now is located. So looking forward to that. It's almost showtime on show number 268. Go Tigers. All right, a brief tour of the new studios here in Easley, South Carolina. So much space that not only do you have room for all the sales folks to do their thing right there in the cubicles, you've got a couple of great meeting spaces, office spaces in here. You can see some of the technical stuff that we use, some production and office areas back here, and also just a nice, really cool meeting room area. So I can cut the light on here so you can see what we're talking about. None of this, if you've seen footage of the old studio back in Clemson, none of this was possible over there. It just wasn't a setup that we have here, and John Hennis deserves a tremendous amount of thanks for that. But you've got all the cubicles and all this, but you got room for cornhole out here in the middle of the lobby area of the studio, and that's all real and cool. And then of course we'll take a walk back in here to the main lobby, and you can see the studio, a great setup here. You see William Qualkenbush in there behind the glass, and then Ramona's area is back here producing the show. It is game day. Clemson and Tennessee, the Capital One Orange Bowl Championship and the Tiger pregame show presented by Ingles in our 20th year on the air, our 268th consecutive broadcast on the Roar. I am Scott Reimer alongside William Qualkenbush, and we're glad that you're making us a part of your game day experience as we count down to kick off the Tigers and the Volunteers. 8 o'clock kickoff, and we'll be with you until 5 o'clock where we hand the football over to Mark Childress and company on the Tiger Tailgate Show. Coming up in this segment, we'll break down the college football playoff games. We'll also hear from Wes Goodwin. But before we do all of that, William Qualkenbush, an update on our fan poll question.
You can go get your vote in right now at theroarfm.com, the Roar mobile app. Here is the poll question today. Clemson has 4 Orange Bowl wins in program history. Which of those 4 opponents was the best team Clemson beat right now? 1982 Nebraska has extended its lead. 42.1% of the voters say that. Followed closely with 36.8% of the vote by 2014 Ohio State. Just under 16% in third place, 2015 Oklahoma, and 5.3% 1951 Miami. So 2 favorites have emerged, 82 Nebraska and 14 Ohio State. And in the last hour or so, that Nebraska squad has taken the lead. Go ahead and get your votes in, theroarfm.com and the Roar mobile app.
I'm a little surprised 2015 Oklahoma hadn't gotten a little bit more love. Baker Mayfield coming in, that was a dominating offensive football team, and actually a very good defensive football team. I remember, if you'll recall, Clemson came in undefeated in that season, of course, headed into the playoffs, but a lot of questions about whether Clemson was ACC or worthy of the college football playoff because of the schedule. And even though Clemson was the number one team, most people picked Oklahoma in that game.
Yeah, Oklahoma was favored in the
Yep.
game, and most people assumed, I've talked a lot about skipping steps. Clemson skipped a step that year
Yep.
because normally you want to go to a playoff, especially if you're not at that level. You go to a playoff first, then you win that first game, you get to the championship, you lose that, then you win it. Clemson skipped a step, though, because I think they showed people that while Oklahoma had a little bit of the pedigree and the decades of success, Clemson's just a better program at that point, 2015.
All right, there you go. Get your votes in. Clemson is also attempting tonight to tie the school record for wins against AP-ranked teams in a single season. The Tigers had 5 in 2016 and 5 in 2017. The Tigers can get a fifth one here tonight. And all of our game day facts are brought to you by Roto-Rooter. If you need a local plumber. All right, that's a wrap on the 20th season of the Tiger pregame show, number 268. Great show, a lot of fun, a lot of games going on during it, so that always makes for a lot of fun. Heading out of Easley, South Carolina right now, and going to get back to Greenville and meet up with friends and family and enjoy some tailgating and some of those wings that I cooked earlier today. And, of course, the Tigers and the Volunteers in the Capital One Orange Bowl. Stay tuned. We'll keep you updated. Well, the morning after the end of a season is never a fun day because the season's over. It's made worse when the morning after is coming off a loss, and that's what we had last night down in Miami. Give a lot of credit to Tennessee. Just really, both teams played hard. That was good to see, but Tennessee made the plays. You can't turn the ball over twice, and you can't miss 3 field goals and have another field goal faked and you don't get it. It's just those are the kind of mistakes that lose football games, and that's what happened last night. Lost football game doing those things, and so a lot to glean from it. I haven't gone back and watched the game yet, so it's literally instant analysis here, but I think there's some things offensively that I think you can grow from for next year. I think Cade Klubnik acquitted himself very well. I don't think we protected very well for him at all. In fact, probably our worst night offensive line-wise we had all season. But he hung in there. He still slung it around. We still caught the ball when we got some passes. So you add all that up, and I think Cade Klubnik is a guy that you can build this offense around, and I think that's what we'll do. It's going to be interesting to see over the next couple of weeks who stays and who goes. Obviously, by the time you see this, we already know those answers. But, we've got some guys who may come back. We got some guys who are going to leave us as well. So what the 2023 version of Clemson football is going to be is still yet to be determined as of this morning, the last day of December and the last day of 2022. So with that, we'll close the book on the 20th season of the Tiger pregame show, and we will turn the page to 2023, both literally on the calendar tomorrow as we welcome in the new year, and then, of course, we'll turn the page as well to spring and into the summer with Clemson football. Until next time, and as always, go Tigers.